Bom dia, boa tarde, boa noite, or whatever the case may be. My name is Marcus, and I am the host of the Black Brazil Today YouTube channel, as well as the BlackBrazilToday.com blog, where I analyze Brazil from the perspective of race. So today I'm featuring a well-known actress in Brazil who I've talked about in a previous video. This is something I found on her Instagram page a few days ago, and I definitely want to talk about it because anytime it applies to the discussion of race in Brazil is something that I want to talk about. And I just want to give this woman her flowers. She's if she's not 80 yet, she'll be 80 this year. And anybody who's been into Brazilian media for years, or you just have experience with Brazilian television or films, or even stage productions, you'll know who Zezé Motta is. So I just wanted to talk about something that she said recently in concerning how Black Brazilians are treated when it comes to Brazil's advertising industry. Now, if you've been to Brazil, I would say in the last 20 years, and I mean, arguably before that, of course, because things have gotten better. I've always noticed that when you go to, magazine stands in Brazil, you watch television, you go to a mall and see the billboards inside the mall or in the in the shopping windows, um, just billboards, posters, whatever, people featured in television ads and all of this type of stuff. Things have improved, a lot since I first started checking out Brazil in the early 2000s, but you still come to Brazil and you turn on the television, and even though it's improving, you still would get the idea that, Brazil is like a, extension of Europe in the tropics, because Black people, for the most part, are just hidden. As I've said, when I was last in Sao Paulo before I moved back to the US, I saw a lot of improvements when I would go to the mall and I would see these big displays of Black people, modeling clothes or whatever the product it was of the particular store, but still a long ways to go. Zezé Motta talked about this recently, and she's been in film and television, I don't know, maybe about 60 years or so, 50, at least 50. And she was just talking about how they never really wanted to feature her in any product type, product ads, for sale, television commercials, or, just, advertisements. You didn't see a whole, this is what, you didn't see a lot of Black people representing these products. So this is something that she recently said in one of her Instagram posts in an interview that she did. So she was told, Blacks don't sell. Veteran actress Zezé Motta featured as product commercial actress for the first time at age 78. And as I said, I think Zezé is going to be 80 this year. So I'm going to get into this video. But before I do, just definitely like this video, share this video, consider subscribing to the channel, click on the notification bell so that you'll know when I put up new videos. With that said, let's get directly into this video right now and talk about what Zezé Motta had to say about this topic. So, told Blacks don't sell, veteran actor Zezé Motta featured as a product commercial actress for the first time at the age of 78. Why is that? So as I said, I've talked about Brazil's advertising industry for some years. I'm going to get into a few of the links that you can find at the BlackBrazilToday.com blog. Again, almost 4,000 articles over there. Go check them out. Zezé Motta, well-known actress of stage screen, big screen, small screen. I have a couple of articles about her at BlackBrazilToday.com. The last video that I did about her was talking about Brazil has always prided itself on saying, we don't have racism here because all the races mix with no problem. Where she showed in a novella that she was featured in, in 1984, she was the female love interest of a popular white actor on this particular novella. And the hate mail she received just questioned that idea. If Brazil doesn't see any problem with interracial couples, why does she get so much hate mail? That's a previous video. I'll link to that. You can also see that. I just, all of the things that Brazil has said for years, like, Brazil is not racist because, and then you go behind the scenes and you see that this is not true at all. So how are you proclaiming the so-called racial democracy where everywhere you turn, you find more evidence that there's nothing, there's no democracy when it comes to race in Brazil? And even though people hate to admit it, I mean, it is what it is. Don't deny it. Maybe you even say you don't really like the image or the myth being debunked. But I'm just saying, there's no really any reason to deny this while you're ready to point the finger at other countries, and their racist history. So anyway, what I wanted to talk about in terms of Zezé Motta was how she said, and it's a common belief in Brazil that blacks don't sell, which is why you don't find a lot of blacks in advertising. As I said, that has changed as of recent years, but you still wouldn't see Brazil as a mostly non-white country, which it is officially. So, but let's get into what Zezé Motta talked about in the post that she made on Instagram. So, introducing what she was talking about, she said in an interview from 2016, passing through 2023 and coming to 2024, I had no expectations from advertising. I come from a time where there was no way that Black people were beautiful and could sell. So I thought, I'm going to fight for my children and grandchildren to to find a better world, one in which all the doors are open and not limited because of the color of their skin. I kept this in my prayers, but now there have been so many invitations. I think it's wonderful. It's good for me. We're moving forward. So that's what she said in introducing the video that I'm going to talk about right now. So Zezé was just talking about in all the years she's been in front of the big screen and the small screen, she's been like the commercial actor maybe 3 times. So I'm going to just overdub what she had to say in the video. In my 50-year career, I've only done 2 commercials. It would have been 3 if the first one hadn't been turned down by a client. An agency hired me to do a commercial. I got to see the photos. They were beautiful, but the client said that the billboard wouldn't go on the streets because their clientele was middle class and that the middle class wouldn't accept the suggestion of a Black woman.
Não ia aceitar com sugestão de uma negra. Tenho trabalhado tanto.
I've been working so hard for 79 years.
Inclusive, eu virei garota propaganda.
I'm even been a poster girl now after. Look at that, Zezé. Suddenly, I'm very happy, very grateful, and very excited to be alive and already campaigning.
E já fazendo campanha. Finalmente.
Finally, many young girls say to me, look, thank you very much. From the first time I saw you, I thought I can do it too. So it's very gratifying. That's the word. It's gratifying. It was worth the struggle. So you heard what Zezé Motta had to say in that interview. I mean, listen to what she said. She said, again, where is the racial democracy when advertisers have a feeling that their clients are from the middle class, and middle class being a key word, a buzzword, because everybody knows that most of the middle class in Brazil is going to be white. So if you have a racial democracy, why is it that your white middle class would not accept seeing a Black woman in a commercial? I'm not going to buy this product because Zezé Motta is Black, and that's a product that's, that's being pitched to the lower class Black community. Again, how do you argue that the country is a racial democracy? We're all equal. We don't see each other according to race, but then you don't accept a product if it's being, promoted by a Black woman. Again, make that make sense. The billboard wouldn't go on the streets because the clientele was middle class, and that middle class wouldn't accept the suggestion of a Black woman. Again, everywhere you look in Brazilian society where you say there's a racial democracy, we don't see people according to color, you see evidence that contradicts that fact. Zezé Motta has been in the business for more than 50 years, but she's only been in 3 television ads. Make it make sense to me. So this is just more of how she was feeling. I've learned a lot from just reading interviews from Zezé Motta about how her career played out, how race plays out in Brazil. I mean, just phenomenal career. This is taken from an article in which she talked about this idea that she hasn't been really called to star in commercials for certain products. So in 78 years, again, I think she's going to be 80 this year. It's the first time the actress has starred in TV commercials. She said, in my day, being Black wasn't beautiful. Now I'm going to link to another video that I did when I was talking just about that. Very emotional. That's how Zezé Motta reacted to being asked to be a poster girl for the first time in her life at the age of 78. Despite a career spanning more than 5 decades and almost 100 roles on her resume, including characters on TV and in films, she had never done an advertising campaign in the 1970s. She even shot a commercial that never aired because the company refused to have a Black woman representing its product. Now she is the face of global beauty projects such as L'Oreal, Natura, Avon, Nivea, and Vichy. An achievement she celebrated on Twitter in July when she wrote, "After being old, they discovered me." In all her campaigns, she celebrates her wrinkled skin and kinky curly hair. These are just a couple magazine covers. She's been on some magazines over the years. I think this one's from 1972. I think that magazine no longer exists. O Cruzeiro. This is, I believe it's from 1984. Again, I talked about the novella in which the viewing audience rejected seeing her kissing this popular white actor. I mean, she got some really, we could just say, disgusting comments come in about her. This is another recent magazine cover. So Zezé Motta has been on a few magazine covers over the years, but she hasn't been chosen to be, the pitch lady for many products. How do you explain that? I no longer had any expectations when it came to advertising. I come from a time when Black people weren't allowed to be beautiful at all. So I thought, I'm going to fight for my children, grandchildren, to find a different world, one in which the doors are open and not limited because of the color of their skin. I kept that in my prayers. But now that there have been so many invitations, I think it's wonderful. It's good for me. She said in an interview with Universa in the living room of her apartment in Leme, Rio de Janeiro, a property that once belonged to writer Clarice Lispector. All right. After years of fighting against racism and more recently against ethnicism, Zezé says she is proud of the battle she has fought and on the front line. The actress was one of the founders of the Movimento Negro Unificado, the Unified Black Movement, which is Brazil's civil rights organizations in the 1970s, and has served as a human rights advisor in Brazil's capital city of Brasilia and the superintendent of racial equality in Rio de Janeiro. So Zezé Motta has been involved in the racial struggle for years. Some years ago, I think she created her own company to promote up and coming Black actors and actresses. So Zezé Motta, she's been involved in the racial equality movement for Black Brazilians for a number of years. There was a story, and I'm going to talk about this another time, where I think she traveled to the United States and she was wearing a wig, and she went to the United States in the middle of the Black Power movement. And Black people in the United States was looking like, why are you wearing that wig? We're in an era now where we're proud to wear natural afros, and this marked her for a number of years. She talked about that in another interview. I'll have to talk about that in the future. She says, "I'm proud of myself for having faced all these struggles and at the same time being able to help other people, Black women, older women, even young women. Many say to me, thank you, it's gratifying, it was worth it. There's this nice thing about being an older person and doing well, campaigning. It's an incentive for other women my age to see that old is not ragged, that an old woman is a woman. In fact, elderly, not old." So this is what Zezé Motta had to say about, for the first time she was being featured as, the commercial actress for a certain product. Okay. The commercial is still on YouTube, but what I want to do right now is just to back up what she was saying. All of these links that I have here, well, some of these are from Brazilian websites. The others come directly from the blog blackbraziltoday.com. Definitely go and check it out. So it was big news last year when there were 3 novellas that was coming on Brazil's top television network, TV Global or Global TV, that featured a large cast of Black people. They were the stars. Their roles were instrumental in the development of the novella, and this was something that was groundbreaking. You never really saw, for all the years that I was following Brazil, you saw mostly white actors and actresses. When you did see Black people, they were in stereotypical roles. You didn't really know much about the family that Black character was coming from, and this started to change recently. Again, so many people in advertisings have a backwards thought and prejudiced thought, thinking that Black people don't sell, where it says here, "O negro no vende." So they're saying we don't use Black people because people are not going to buy the product and people are not going to watch. So 2023 was a big deal when those novellas hit the screen all at the same time, because it showed that the public is looking for Black people. Not only is it just the public in general, but specifically Black people were starting to turn away from the big television networks because they didn't see people who look like them. So Global and other channels had to start putting more Black faces on TV because they were losing their dominance in the media. Then you have actress Erika Januza. I've spoken about her in past articles and videos. She speaks about racism. She says, "I heard that negro no vende, Blacks don't sell. that I would never be featured on the cover of a magazine. This is Erika Janus. I've always thought she was one of the prettiest women in Brazil, but this is what she heard. So, this isn't something that Zezé Motta just made up. This has been the thought in Brazilian advertising and the media for a number of years. Black people don't sell. Why we're going to have black people on the cover? Why we're going to feature them when people aren't going to check it out? Manuel Soares, a popular journalist in Brazil. What did he say? Let me check this out. Manuel Soares and the structural racism on television. Okay. A lot of people, we're all familiar with I've done a couple of features on, my videos on here on YouTube where I've featured the words of Manuel Soares. Really, he's one of the most popular black journalists in the country. And he says, let me see. Okay, listen to this, that black people don't bring the public, they don't get an audience, and says, negro no vende produtos, no gera lucros, saying black people don't sell products, they don't generate profits. Okay, this has been a long time thought in Brazilian society. This article is from 2015, a popular weightlifter. She was looking, when you're in certain Olympic, definitely Olympic athletics, you have to get sponsors who are going to support, your performance and your development. This lady, this weightlifter, Josélia Oliveira, said that she couldn't get sponsors because they said blacks don't sell. Okay. This isn't something new, something people have been talking about for a long time. This couple questions racism in Brazil and highlighting the beauty of those most ignored black people. So again, the idea that not only do blacks not sell, but they're not considered beautiful. And in Brazil, the standard is not black. That's why you find whiteness throughout the advertising industry. Advertising and race, their fear is that white women won't buy a product if the girl in the ad is black. So this is an article from 2013. The title says it all. Look at when you do a Google search, a Google image search under the words atrizes de novelas, meaning soap opera actresses, this is generally what you see with what the women are going to look like. They're going to be mostly women that follow the European standard. Garota de propaganda, meaning basically poster girl. You look at Google again, and maybe this has changed recently, but in 2013, this is what it looked like. You'll see mostly women with a European phenotype. People like actress Thais Araújo, arguably Brazil's top black actress, you started seeing a little bit changing, and I've said I've seen this change. Before I moved back to the U.S., I started seeing more and more black people being featured in advertisements. This is actress Camila Pitanga. Okay, this is actress Débora Nascimento. I think there was one more here. The former volleyball player Fabiana Claudino. I said, I saw a lot of change going on in that last decade. This is singer and actress Preta Gil, another advertisement. This is Preta Gil as well. This is Gabi Amarantos. So these women, they were part of the change that you're seeing in Brazil these days. You are seeing a lot more black people in advertisements, even though they're still a minority. I was debunking this idea that blacks don't sell because for years I would go, when you see Brazilian movies or television series, you just don't see many black people. And these last 2 years have just shown all of these movies, these 3 movies in particular, Nosso Sonho, Martium, and Mussum, they all won awards or they were big sellers at the box office, which showed like, no, there's a starving black public out there who wants to see more representation. This is a video I did, let's see, December 19, 2023 at the end of last year. Check that video out. The Guardian, British media also noticed this change. Black Brazilians claim prime time as telenovelas finally reflect diversity. This is what I was talking about. The 3 top soap operas now feature black protagonists after years of whitewashing Brazil's ethnic makeup. It's a topic I've covered a lot on the channel. So this is another video that I did. What's the date on it? Well, this is from 5 months ago. The actor Samuel Giassis said he never saw himself as handsome until after he had some therapy, because Brazilian society brainwashes black people into believing that the only concept of beauty has to be the European one. How a Eurocentric Brazil undermines the concept of black beauty. All right. So this is everything that Zezé Motta was talking about. The presence of blacks in TV commercials is increasing day by day. And this is from 2019. This is something that I witnessed myself in Sao Paulo. I was just amazed, at seeing so many black people in different advertisements, posters in the streets and big billboards. It was incredible. I had never seen these many black faces. This is some pictures that I took myself in the subway. Can't remember what station it was at, but they did an advertisement of this hair product that was targeted at Black women. You know, what does it say? Salon line celebrating kinky and curly haired queens, it says. You know, rainhas crespas y cacheadas. And you saw these humongous pictures of these Black women. This is the actress Erika Januza that I was just talking about previously. And I had never seen such huge images of Black girls and women in these ads. I had never seen that before. So I caught the tail end of those last few years of when I was seeing this increase of Black faces in the advertising industry in Brazil. And it was something, it will catch your eye if you're not accustomed to that. Brazil's advertising industry continues to value whiteness. This is from 2020. And as I said, the magazine covers, look at this picture here. This sign says, "Where is the Black? Where are Blacks? Cadê o negro?" Brazil's advertising industry continues to value whiteness. And I've done a number of articles on the blog that talked about this. You go to Brazilian magazine stands, you're going to see mostly whiteness. You fly into Sao Paulo. Now, this picture was taken from years ago. Of course, everybody knows Gisele Bündchen, the former Miss Tom Brady, you know, one of the most popular, most successful models of all time. You fly out of the Sao Paulo airport, Guarulhos, and you'll see these big, huge billboards, you know, of mostly white women, you know, in the advertising industry, right? These are just some changes. These are some pictures that I took, you know, while I was in Sao Paulo. So as I said, it is slowly changing, but it's still a long ways to go. This is more from this article that says, "Where are the Black people?" This sign here says, "Blacks don't sell, o negro no vende." So it's something that, you know, people have kept their eyes on this for a while. It's like, you're so proud of a racial democracy, so then why don't you represent Black people as much as you represent white people? O negro no vende, right? So that's what the point of today's video is. That's what Zezé Motta was talking about in the article and the video that I've done today. So with that said, I'm going to end this video here. I definitely want to hear what you guys have to say about the video. Like this video, share this video, you know, consider subscribing to this channel. Click on the notification bell if you've seen more than a few videos that you liked here. And with that said, I'm going to end this video here and request that you all come back. Check out the next video that I post.